So when starting the power clean, you want to stand with feet between hip and shoulder width apart, with toes pointed slightly outward. Squat down with the hips lower than the shoulders and grasp the bar evenly with an overhand grip. Place hands on the bar slightly wider than shoulder width apart, outside of the knees, with elbows fully extended and pointing out to the side. Place feet flat on the floor and position the bar approximately 1 inch from the shins and over the balls of your feet. And then position the body with the back neutral or slightly arched, chest up and out, head in line with the spine, shoulders over or slightly in front of bar, and the eyes focus straight ahead. I started by talking through the basic movements of the clean with the athlete, and then I intended to use the following cues. Assume starting position, forcefully drive hips and knees, bar close to body, shrug shoulders and extend body upward, whip elbows under bar, flex knees, drop hips, catch bar in quarter squat, and extend upwards. However, the clean is a very fast movement, and so I had to shorten these cues so that they could be said during the actual exercise. This ended up being assume starting position, drive hips, shrug shoulders, elbows under bar, and extend. This could all be completed within the motion as the athlete was completing it. Then, in between sets or reps, if the athlete needed to focus on anything, we could revisit their original cues, such as forcefully drive hips and knees, but when the actual movement was being performed, it got shortened into drive hips. This was done for most of the cues, I should say, and then if the athlete had any questions, we could revisit the original ones. The following video will demonstrate an athlete performing the exercise using the cues listed here. Assume starting position. Drive hips, shoulder shrug, elbows under, extend. The athlete starts by assuming a very good starting position. However, in the first phase, the hips explode and the knees extend, but the bar comes out too far from the body. She catches in a deep squat, however, and extends upward very nicely. If I were coaching this athlete how to properly do the clean, one thing I would point out during this video is that when she extends the bar upward, instead of performing a shrug right here, she whips the bar out in front of her body instead of keeping the bar close. Since the clean is such a dynamic movement, there are many muscles involved. During hip extension, the gluteus maximus, semitendinosus, semimembranosus, the biceps femoris, and the adductor magnus all play a part. During knee extension, the quadricep muscles play a role. This includes the rectus femoris, the vastus lateralis, the vastus intermedius, and the vastus medialis. During ankle extension, the gastrocnemius, the soleus, the plantaris, the tibialis posterior, the flexor hallucis longus, and the flexor digitorum longus all play a role. When it comes to shoulder abduction, the lateral deltoid, the anterior deltoid, the supraspinatus, and the pectoralis major all play a role. Shoulder flexion is carried out by the lateral deltoid, the anterior deltoid, the pectoralis major, the coracobrachialis, and the biceps brachii. External rotation of the shoulder is aided by the teres minor, the infraspinatus, the posterior deltoid, and the supraspinatus. Scapula and clavicle elevation is caused by the trapezius, the levator scapulae, and the serratus anterior. When it comes to the upward rotation of the scapula and the clavicle, the trapezius and the serratus anterior are at play. Elbow flexion is caused by the biceps brachii, the brachialis, and the brachioradialis. And finally, spine extension is caused by the erector spinae, which consist of the spinalis, the longissimus, and the iliocostalis, and then the quadratus lumborum and the trapezius. When it comes to athletic performance, the clean ranks very high on the list of exercises that should be included when you're trying to increase performance on the field. Many strength and conditioning professionals label the clean as the most powerful movement an athlete can perform in the weight room. This is due to the triple extension that occurs in the ankles, knees, and hips when they extend simultaneously during the lift. The same joints work together in sports. For instance, when a lineman is making a tackle, or when you're going up for a layup in basketball, or a jump serve in volleyball. All of those three joints work together when they extend, and they are explosive movements. Also, speed is worked on. The speed is transferred from the body to the bar during the clean lift. Also, a large amount of force is required in a short amount of time. Continuing on with the benefits of the clean when it comes to athletic performance, force absorption and the eccentric loading should be noted. Football linemen, basketball players, and volleyball players, along with triple jumpers, use a lot of force absorption in their activities, and this lift really works on that area. Also, agility, when the athlete has to quickly reposition their body under the bar, is important. And then other considerations that should be noted include the neuromuscular control, the coordination, the proprioception, and flexibility that are all required to properly perform the clean. These are all important aspects that not only need to be done right to perform the exercise, but also when they are focused on, they will translate over positively into the sport the athlete is playing. When working with a new athlete, it will be important to make some modifications to make the movement easier when learning how to do the clean. Something that can be done is to learn the movement with the PVC pipe or a light training bar. The cues will still be the same when you're cueing the exercise. However, with a lighter bar, they can focus on getting their form right before they start adding weight. Also, you can perform a hang clean where the bar starts at mid-thigh or slightly above the knees. Also, you can put blocks on the side of the athlete and have the bar rest on those so that they aren't starting from the floor, but rather they're getting rid of the first phase of the clean and starting from the mid-thigh position, and the cues will still be the same except the first phase of the exercise has been removed. If you happen to be working with a more advanced athlete, an easy modification you can make is to add weight to the bar. The cues will still be the same as a regular clean. Or you can ask the athlete to go into a deeper squat. So instead of having them go into a quarter squat as they're catching the bar and extending up into a standing position, you can cue them to catch the bar in a full squat or with the thighs parallel to the ground. This will increase the difficulty.